So, as we already know, our SAP ERP system includes tons of transactions, even if we only consider a single module like the sales and distribution module. Although the screens of these transactions look very similar, all of them have a menu, a command field, a standard toolbar, a title bar, an application toolbar, or even a status bar, but they mostly differ in their screen area. For example, let's consider the transaction VA22 that enables the users to change the data of an existing quotation. It consists of many input-ready elements within its screen area where the users can enter the data and then store it in the database. So this is for entering data into the database. Or let's consider another transaction, the VA25, that is for listing existing quotations from the database. This one also contains the usual screen elements, but it holds a list within its screen area with many columns and rows. So this is for listing existing data from the database. In addition, we have a few very special transactions like the SA38, the ABAP editor. This is the transaction where our ABAP developers further develop our SAP systems according to the current business requirements. So this is one of the transactions that you need to get familiar if you want to develop ABAP programs and want to become an ABAP developer. As you can see, this screen looks similar to the others. At the top it has a menu, a command field, a standard toolbar, a title bar, an application toolbar, and a status bar at the very bottom. But it differs in its screen area. It holds a text editor that enables the ABAP developers to maintain their ABAP source code. Finally, we have other special transactions like the SPRO, the SAP Project Reference Object, that enables the system administrators, consultants, and the module specialists to fine-tune and customize the system according to the requirements. This screen contains tons of customization settings organized into a huge tree menu. It's another example for the diversity of the screens. Although we have a few special transactions that are very different from the others, but most of the transactions actually can be classified into only two common groups. Let me give you an example for this. We have transactions for creating and changing an inquiry. We can also list all the existing inquiries or only the incomplete ones. Similarly, we have transactions for creating and changing quotation, and we can also list all the existing quotations or only the incomplete ones. And of course, we have transactions for creating and changing a sales order. And similarly, we can list all the existing sales orders or only the incomplete ones. I highlighted some of them with blue color and some of them with green color. Would be some differences among the blue and green transactions? That's right. We classify the transactions in blue as data entry transactions. So they enable us to enter data on the screen and then store this data in the database. On the other hand, we classify the transactions in green as report transactions. Report transactions aim to list the data from the database that we entered in the data entry transactions for further analysis. So once again, a data entry transaction can consist of several screens with multiple input-ready fields that enable the users to enter data into the database. And on the other hand, a report transaction usually consists of only one screen with a list that can display a specific data from the database for analysis. Note that, as I mentioned earlier, there are many very specific transactions and screens in the system, but these two transaction types are the most common, and probably this is the two transaction types that you will work in your everyday life. So consequently, we will focus only on these two types of transactions in the coming few minutes. But before we deep dive into the data entry or even the report transactions, Let me show you what kind of screen elements you can meet when you work with transactions like these.